So that awkward thing that guys hate to talk to women about, periods. So how can these things that are so intricate, and we get to know that we really shouldn't be messing with our partners at that time because we're going to get our heads bitten off, how can we sort that in order to really use them to your benefit for training? The first thing is understanding what's going on. So it is brought up into two phases. Mainly follicular phase at the start, the luteal phase at the end. So the first 1 to 14 days and around 15 to 28 days. In the middle is ovulation. So what happens to your body during that time? First off, your blood plasma levels, so your hydration, are going to be a little bit higher at the start. Some studies have shown that more of an uptake of electrolytes at the start, so it is about 6% extra, and this is going to mean that you're able to hydrate more. You're able to train higher and harder, and you're going to be less fatigued. Okay? Now, as this goes on and you get to ovulation, your body temperature increases. And then through around the middle of the luteal phase, it goes back down to normal again. The thing there is that you don't hydrate as well. Your blood plasma levels are lower. Your body is not able to cool down as much. So, what is this going to have as an impact on your race strategy or your race choice? Now, we can't decide always when the race is going to be in relation to your period. So it's planning ahead. Ideally, the lower intensity sessions, lower intensity efforts and recovery weeks and all this sort of stuff, I would put towards the back end of your menstrual cycle. You can't always have that with races. So it is finding ways to keep your core temperature down. You take on more water, potentially you're going to bloat more because your body's not able to actually utilize it as much. You still need to take on water though. So what can you do? Slushes and ice baths and different cooling techniques, throwing water over you and things like that are going to help to cool you down. What else happens, and this is one of the big things which with my clients, well, with any woman I've spoke to, they crave crap. And what we mean by crap is sugary foods, sweet foods during their period. The reason for this is that essentially your body is using more of your blood glucose, your blood sugar, in order to go through the bodily processes and make sure everything happens the way it should. You get rid of the egg and you go through to process another one, that sort of thing. So, what I suggest is eat more carbs during this time. Yep. What I actually have done with some people is that during this time, you actually have like those little Haribo bags. They're small enough to know that you're only going to get 15 grams. I think it's about 15 or 20 grams. And you are not going to binge out. Okay? So having these a couple of times during the day is going to be safer than getting that massive share bar of Cadbury's Dairy Milk that no one seems to bloody share, and those reseal packets on the back are the most pointless things ever invented. They look cool, the thought is there, but no one ever seals them up and puts them back in the fridge or wherever you store your chocolate. Keep it in the fridge, it's cooler and crunchier. So it's okay to have a little bit more. Binging out, no. But also to remember here is that you are a little bit more dehydrated. What happens when you're more dehydrated is that you get a little bit tetchier. So understand that, okay? And speaking from a guy's perspective, please think before you have a go at us, please. Now, I love going into depth with this. I've tried to keep some of the science out of it, just to keep the simple stuff in there so you can actually understand it. So in essence, front half, train harder, really get your efforts in. If you can get a race in there, cool, do it, because you are going to perform much better than either during ovulation or the back half. In reality, you can't always choose that to be the case. So it is knowing what is going to happen. It is knowing and planning ahead. So plan to have a little bit more carbs. If you can, plan those recovery weeks at the end. Don't put them at the start. If you feel really crap and you are coming to the end of your menstrual cycle, so you think, okay, or you're a coach, you think, okay, I'm going to put a recovery week because that client has felt a little bit crap. And then ask the question, have you been on your cycle? You've had your period, you're now in the luteal phase, and potentially that person is then going to go from feeling crap, and you think, oh my God, I need a rest week, to feeling amazing and performing really good. So asking that, tracking the periods, tracking what is going on, and really prepare ahead of time. If you want to talk a little bit more into this, ladies, and get a plan in place for you, then give me a shout, because I would love to help you in order to get the best results for the efforts you are putting in.